Well, good evening. Good evening. Good morning. This is the first time I'm doing a live for a long time. I decided to go on to explain the reason why I'm doing this test is just make sure my stream is still able to do live broadcasting. Hey, good evening. How's everybody doing this morning? People wonder what I'm drinking. I'm drinking tea. It's an interesting time that I am doing an actual live stream right now. I was going to do it on Rumble, but right now I'm trying to figure out how to do that as much as possible. But I'm doing it on YouTube right now, and I'm enjoying my first live in a few days. It's been a while. How's everybody doing out there? I'm just waiting for a few more people to come on up, come on my stream, see if I'm going to get people to come. It was interesting yesterday. I was on Thrash's channel. Shout out to Thrash. He does a lot of horse rescuing, and he's been doing it for a long time. And now you're going to see a little bit more changes coming on my channel. I am going to do as much as possible what I can do right now. I'm still learning so much of this process. I want to try and do some streams on Rumble so I can do something like that too. I'm gonna show you my Rumble channel. Let's see. I got to do this real quick. uh, mhm. I'll show you what I mean on my reason why I'm doing a different things right now. So I'm going to share this. A lot of people say, "Well, why are you going to share your Rumble channel?" Well, just like YouTube, and all the audios. See, this is my Rumble channel. It's pretty much a lot of videos I've done, some reaction videos. Others I transfer from YouTube to Rumble. Don't mind the messy hair look and the beard. Few years I have grown my stream like this. This is my Rumble channel. There's a little bit more controversial stuff where I can say things on that channel, but I am doing it based on what I know and what I know about these platforms, about these channels. A lot of people say, well, when you share stuff like that, you wonder what is Rumble, just like YouTube, but you have much more freedom to say what you want on that than a lot of other platforms like this. I'm not attacking YouTube. I'm not attacking any of these channels. I'm just saying what I've known about all this stuff. I have completely understand. And sound is great. If you think so, thumbs up. I am going in that direction because it's a lot easier to do political stuff like this on that channel. I got to learn to know how to do some of these live channels, so I'm reading up on a lot of way of to be able to do much on that channel, on that platform, because a lot of people don't see what's going on a lot of these channels, a lot of these YouTube channels. You can't say what you want to say on these channels. You think a lot of people think they can, but in reality, when you have people telling you that you cannot say what you want to say, you got to do it in other ways. A lot of people don't realize freedom is not free. Because where you think you're in a free society, you think you have every rights, a lot of people are in for a shock. A lot of times you think freedom, people who have fought for freedom, because yesterday was the day of veterans. A lot of veterans have fought for our country, defended our rights to speak. Well, when you're losing that, you're losing your rights, you're losing everything that you believe. And you notice I am not saying any other things in other people's channels because I know that they can get their channel closed. Let me bring up some channels that I like to shout out for. All right. I'm going to do a screen share again. I'm going to shout out to some good channels I know that are really good out there. They're actually fighting for us. People don't realize you have a lot of channels and a lot of understanding. I'm not going to share any audio, so these are the channels that sometimes I watch. Computers. Heck, I like this one. Something about Star Trek. And then this other person I really do enjoy. Chrissy Myers. Henry. I mean, she's a comedian, but she's also a well, not really in a way, but she knows what she's saying. Because when a comedian cannot speak her rights to make fun, we lose a lot more freedom that way. Then you got Tim Cass, IRL. And you got so many other peoples. Then you got people doing shorts. You got Housel, you got news, you got local news, you got this is one guy I kind of really enjoy. Even from the UK. He's doing a lot of interesting stuff too. That's a really good person to do. And then there's another person I actually didn't realize, but I started following her called X-Ray Girl, and she's doing a lot of these type of streamings, like gamings and stuff like that, which is cool. But she also does a lot of other stuff too. But, I'm not really too much into sports, but Sports Wars, and it's from Geeks and Gamers. Yes, they talk about sport coaches and players and stuff like that. It's a really kind of a good channel to watch. Right? Geeks and Gamers, Sports Wars. And I got 21090. I got so many other people that are doing shows like this one. I sometimes tend to watch some of his things if it really interests me, but I do subscribe. The reason why I subscribe to some of these people is because they have every right to say what they want to say, even if you don't always agree with it. All right. Adventures. So many different types of channels right now that I do enjoy personally. This is another one. This is interesting to watch. Yeah, it just shows how people are. A lot of people loses a lot of stuff, and a lot of people try to do crazy things, but not realizing. And then you got this one, which I do love, native music, wherever it comes from. These guys, I think they're, I can't think of the country, but really beautiful music they do. Yeah, they are native, but they're not. They're in the South America region. Okay. And I got Alex, the Beer Master. Another good channel. I tried some of these. I went to one of my local, what was it? Total Wine store. They had somebody giving out samples, and they had a sample of one of these type of stouts. I can't think of the name, but I tried it. It didn't really agree with me. And I got here's another native. I love native music. Love Native American music. Even knowing the beauty of this music that he does, which is really good. He usually plays the flute. Yes, he's dressing up as native. And yes, he is native. All right. Casinos, I do like to watch some of those too. All Elite Wrestling, I'm pretty much a big fan of wrestling as much as, because sometimes I go on Doors, and she does a few lives like from Raws and SmackDown. But she, like everybody else, you cannot play some of these things because of copyrights. That's an interesting. That was all elite, and this other person I really do enjoy. She's another one of the not a comedian, but a commentator, a person that literally speaks out because she once was a liberal. She's now has much more of a conservative view. She sees what everybody's seeing right now. It's what they're doing to a lot of people. And it's really interesting to watch. Funniest videos, America's funniest videos, still going on, still funny. Some of these people don't realize how when you do some crazy stuff and you're on this show, you know, people are enjoying it. American Patriot News. It's not interesting. Some of it's controversial. You don't have to agree with these people that are doing these. AP News, American Patriot News is another good show, and it does talk about topics that you may not always agree with. Oh man, I gotta really give this person much more of a shout out because, I wish people would come and see her show, what she does, because she does a lot of sports program. She likes her Patriots. It's a football team, but she does a lot of this other stuff. Yeah, she did the one chip challenge. A lot of people did a lot of these. She also does USC, other good, interesting shows that she does. This guy just rides around on a motorcycle. Really interesting. I don't know what country he's from, but pretty interesting. Traveling around his own country on a motorcycle, seeing what he sees happening. Makes it pretty interesting. This is another person that just came on my stream a little bit. He does a lot of these layouts, loft. He's does a lot of railroad, model trains and stuff like that, which is really interesting. And he also builds little cities or like a little town. Why he's doing it? He has maybe a few other people, same on his panel, that he does all of these things too. Animal bark. Some interesting if you're really into animal like dogs. And these are poor animals. These are animals that are being rescued. And it really, really heartbreaking to see videos like this. And people that are going out there rescuing any animal, whether it's a dog or cat or horse or whatever animal. And it really tugs at your heart. Antenna man talks about types of antennas and about broadcasting right now. Some of these broadcasting channels that he's talking about are now, sometimes you can't wonder why these channels are being shut down, or you have to get a cable to be able to subscribe to some of these channels. Well, check out this guy's channel, Antenna Man. He really does talk about over-the-air antenna technology, like receiving your local TV stations. Anthony, Brian Logan, commentator, knows his stuff. I do watch his stuff, and he's like, commenting on what everything is going on in this country. A great patriot, a wonderful patriot, does really interesting stuff. Well, this is we are ambassadors of Christ. Christians talking of what's happening around the world. And even though I know there's a little movies in there, you tend to see stuff. You may not always agree with this person. You have that right to disagree with them too. Aquatic Daily. Aquarium Daily. Interesting. We have one guy who's also on this, which this is pretty interesting to watch. Talks about how to raise your fish, how to clean your fish tanks and stuff like that. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. If you're into fish, like aquariums and stuff like that, check out this channel. I'm doing as much arcade. Jackpot Pro. He does a lot of these arcade things. Used to be linked with another person, which I'll mention later on. But really interesting. Guy goes to every arcade place where he lives and just plays and enjoys it and explains what type of games are in the arcade system. All right. Aries in the Nation. Guy I just met a while back on a few other channels. Really interesting. He has really interesting stuff. He does a lot of interesting programs. Yeah, he does. He's been on a lot of different types of panels and stuff. I talked to him a few times. Pretty interesting. His name is Dennis. I don't know his last name, but he does a lot of interesting topics. Podcast, videos, and talks about music, different things. Pretty interesting. Funny guy, too. All right. Now going on to AR Platinum. AR Platinum is a scratcher channel. A lot of people do lottery scratching. So do I. I may not do as much. I may not spend as much money as this guy does. But look how many people he has subscribed. He's over 113,000 subscribers. He's in one of the top 10. I mean, a really interesting guy. Art Bell Periscope. This guy used to do Coast to Coast AM. His name is Art Bell. He did Greenland. He did Dark and Desert in the Dark. Does a really interesting programs, but he's been gone for a while. You can look up for him if you like to listen to a lot of topics and you want to remember some of the topics. Come to this guy. He's really cool, and he does a lot of interesting stuff too. When he was alive. Sparkles. Art by Sparkles. She does a lot of interesting art. Angie's another person that does the same thing as what she does. I had a little fallout, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm still their friends. Music. A lot of people think that artists, musicians, she has a really interesting voice on her. Little Sweet by Split Cycle is one of their songs, and she's doing a lot of these other songs right now. Axanar, a guy who literally knows something about Star Trek. I mean, I'm looking at this show, I'm looking, and I'm seeing him having Saval from Enterprise. The same guy who also played in the Alien Nation has the police. But this is a really interesting guy to watch at times. I mean, they're getting ready to, I think they're getting ready to launch a little series. Hopefully they can. But with the way everything is coming down, it's kind of hard to know what they can or cannot do, because you know how some of these studios are. Be the installer. Really interesting. Does a lot of checking all these new television. They did a few videos on really good sizes of televisions and stuff like that. If you want to look at his channel, Be the Installer, just look it up and you'll see what it is. Barn Run Forge. This guy does a lot of forging, crosses, whatever you can do, horse. I mean, it's really interesting. You've got to see what they do on this channel, because, you learn a lot from channels like this. All right. Beard Brand Alliance. Interesting channel. These guys did a lot about beards and stuff, how to groom it, take care of it. You can go to this channel, just look for Beard Brand Alliances, subscribe to their channel, see how you can get a lot of good products from them, get ideas on how to keep your beard, facial hair really good. Pretty interesting. Sometimes they do, even like some of us will shave our beards, leave a mustache, or sometimes we'll do a full shave. Really cool. This person does a lot of reactions, like cell phone reactions, stuff like that. But you got to realize, when you see channels like this, you don't know what you're going to expect. Just take a look at her channel. She's pretty interesting. Just a lot of talk about it. This is then I'm gonna screw up in your last name, or I can't really pronounce the last part, but if you're able to see what I'm looking at right now, write this full name down, subscribe to the channel, look at what he talks about. He talks about a lot of interesting stuff, which you probably don't always have to agree with, but it's really interesting to see what he talks about. I'm going to go in a little controversially here. Ben Shapiro, a Jewish person. Yes, he is Jewish. Yes, he does talk about certain subjects. Some people criticize him, which they have the right to do. But if you listen to some people and you don't see, look at Ben Shapiro. He does a lot of interesting stuff. He does talk about certain topics that you may not always agree with. You don't have to agree with them. Daily Wire, they had so much controversy. I'm not going to go through any further than that. Just saying, if you want to see something and you want to see what he has to say, you may want to look at his channel. Benny Hippity. Yeah. I'm going to screw up on her last name, but Hippie Lean. I am not going to say the last name. Sorry, Benny. But she has a pretty good, interesting. She talks certain things. She's like having her animals around. I've been on her channel a few times. She's pretty interesting. If you want to see what she talks about, look up on hers and see what she has to say. Yeah. Beyond Seattle Eats. She's a really interesting person. I've met her through a lot of people, through Phil. She does a lot of these challenges too. She's doing it with her daughter sometimes. Other times she's doing it with other people. Like these hot challenges. I wouldn't suggest that people do these hot challenges without what they are trying to, what they're not, what they cannot deal with. There's a lot of problems right now with these hot challenges because a lot of people are saying don't do it, which I agree with some of them, but that's up to you. But take a look at her channel. She's pretty interesting. Beyond Seattle, Beyond the Screen. Interesting channel. Screen Elites. They talk about all the stars on this channel. They talk about from Kim Kardashian to the Kardashian family, every star that they can talk about. If you want to look up their channel, this channel, take a look at Beyond the Screen Elites and see what they have to say about some of these people. You may not always agree with them, you don't have to, but it's interesting to see. Boy, no Scratcher channel. He does a lot of scratching, just like AR Platinum. I don't know what. It's probably, I don't know what Texas or it looks to me. I don't know, Philadelphia. I think. I'm just guessing. I really don't know where this guy is really from. But it's an interesting channel. It's another Scratcher channel. If you're into lottery, you don't have to watch these. You don't have to subscribe to these people. But just understand, these are some of these people I like to watch too. All right. Big Star X. Talking about different stars, from what previous to what they look today, look right now. Take a look at this channel. You may not always like how some of these changes of some of these superstars that you've seen in movies, and you end up falling in love with, and then all of a sudden they're not around, and all of a sudden you start seeing their change. You start seeing videos of them change. It's like, oh, I used to like that person. Now I can't stand that person. Take a look at that channel. Some of these don't have videos, so you don't have to worry about some of these. Black Nerd Comedy does the exact same thing as Reacts Channels does. Does a lot of these videos, movies, and all these other stars, just like Geeks and Gamers. If you're really into like seeing what films are out there and you want to get a perspective of what other people say, take a look at Black Nerd's Comedy. You'll like his channel. You may not always agree with what he says about a film or stuff like that, but just understand this is just what people literally like to see too. Now, going into further controversy, here's Blair White. Yes, you may think you're looking at a female, but I'm going to tell you something, people. This person is what my generation would call transsexuals. Okay, you think I'm looking at a female? No. I hate to tell you this. This is a guy. This is a male. Well, Blair White is a conservative. Yeah, she, another word for it, is being attacked by these people that are far left wings. Take a look at, if you want to look at her chat, this person's channel, I'll say, look at this person's channel. Because I don't want you guys to think I'm talking about a female. No, this is a guy. I'm sorry to say to him. It's really interesting. Yeah. And he's been on another channel that I'm going to explain to you later on. All right. Blake TV. I have seen this guy so many times on other channels. Yes. Blake TV says who he is. He's also been a musician. He's been in a lot of other shows. But he's also like how I am, a conservative. Or, in the ways of understanding. But it's really interesting that a lot of these people think that, we always tell this guy to shut the F up. But it's a way. We're not really angry with the guy. We're just having a little fun. We're not like, we're like other people. Yeah, we'll poke fun at each other. We'll have fun with them. I always pick on him. But I still like some of his content. And I've seen his lives. He has a few lives recently. See? These are the lives he recently did. And I have a little fun with them. Yeah. It's interesting. He's been on with a lot of other shows too. Blaze News. Yes. Blaze News as a conservative show. You may not always agree with him, but Blaze TV is part of Glenn Beck. Here's Blaze TV. Same. These are the people that are on Blaze TV. You may not always agree with him, but you can check this channel out if you want to. You don't have to. No one's holding it, whatever you may call it, on you. Well, I kind of skipped a little bit. All right, if you like cats, this is a cat video, and then you see some other channels: dogs, family, rescue animals. Pretty interesting to see. Cat that's blind, but it can able to know and hear the master's voice. Blue Whisper. And she does a lot of artwork and painting and stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. Checks out other things too. Check her channel out if you want to. Take a look at what she has to offer. All right. Full Stick Family Light Show. Oh, yeah. Really interesting on how people can literally make their house into like a full concert, music and stuff like that. This is an interesting thing to see, to watch. There's other channels like that too. Right? Bourbon Bound talks about a lot of bourbon, a lot of other stuff too. Gives away stuff too. Really interesting channel. He does eating some cigars and stuff like that. You know, right now I'm hoping to God that some of these channels will still be there to watch. You may not always like to drink. Let's see what he talks about. Take a look at his channel. Yeah, he does have a lot of bourbon and other types of alcohol content. Scratching. Interesting. A lot more scratching channels that I subscribe to. I literally keep on coming across some of these channels. Some of these people actually won good amount of money. But take my advice. If you don't want to watch them, you don't have to watch them. Just take a look at this and see if this really interests you to watch. You know, you don't have to be a scratcher, but just in a way of supporting some of these people that are doing this, and you do want to subscribe, you can. No one's doing anything telling you that you cannot subscribe to these channels. Brian Craig show. He does a lot of talk shows. He comes on early in the morning, pretty early in the morning, my time. But it's interesting to watch that he has a live radio show that he also does on YouTube as well as on the radio. He's a conservative. He does support president that we all support in a ways, but some people don't always agree. They don't have to. Guy with so many voices, Brian Hall. Really interesting to watch. This guy does so many types of voices that you won't believe. And been through a lot of places like Disney World, even Universal's, and it's really cool. Even does a little pranks with the people going through drive-thrus, speaking in these voices. Funny guy. Brittany Valent. She's a conservative. She does a lot of these shows too, like Christy and a few others that literally really talks about certain stuff. You may not always agree with them, but these are also the same people that I subscribe to. She supports. Like every time you like wonder what she's going to talk about. People have been attacking her. I think it's wrong to attack somebody because a lot of people don't always have to agree, but respect the person because she's doing what she has to do, like everybody else. She has another show. She's been on Nerd Erotic, That Star Wars Girl, Christy Mells. I am probably screwing up on her last name, but pretty interesting. Now, if you really are into music, here's Bruno Mars. Really cool, really good singer. You know, I don't always agree with whatever politics. I just like the music. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. Bumpy Road Brewery. Yes, he does a lot of these breweries. Like he's been with Alex, he's been with a few other people. You know, they talk about stouts, they talk about other stuff. Yeah, you see some of the pizzas right there too. Yeah, that's what he does. But mostly he talks about stouts and stuff, brewing stuff. Really good stuff. Business Basic. I don't know if you guys want to see that. It's up to you if you want to subscribe to this channel. But it's pretty interesting to see too. Right. Here's Beedwazzle. Right. The guy likes to do aquarium. He also does a lot of swim pools. He cleans them out. I mean, it's just like really interesting to see someone having an aquarium, talk about certain aquariums, but also talk about other things that he does on his channel. You know, like collects Pokemon stuff, and really interesting to watch. If you subscribe to this guy channel, you'll see what I mean. That's up to you. BX Beastie Boy. Another interesting channel. Another channel that talks about stars too, as well. It also talks about music, video games, and stuff like that. Oh, it's pretty interesting to watch if you're into that. Celebrity Simpson. The guy just goes through a lot of people and visits them and talks to them, see what their places look like, checks them out, talks to people. You know, interesting things like another person I'll explain to you a little later on this. Right. Camelot 31, 331. Yeah, they do a lot of like nerd erotic and stuff like that, commentaries and stuff like that. Talk to other people. Interesting that he's another person I like, which I subscribe to. I mean, I literally enjoy watching some of these videos too when I have a chance to watch some of his videos, and you know, it's really interesting to watch. That's up to you if you want to subscribe to this channel, and it'll be interesting to be able to watch. But yes, another person that's also like controversial. I do agree with her on a lot of views that she has. She's also with Daily Wire. She's also on Rumble Stream on X. Pretty interesting. Candace Owens. Yes, she's been attacked. Like any other commentaries that literally are trying to expose certain things, and it's really interesting. You like her stuff, you will enjoy it. Gary Holzman. He does a lot of computer work. I've been watching so much of his channel, seeing what latest computer he can build him, and he's really good. If you want to see how to learn from this guy. He's been in the business for a long time. He knows his stuff. Please understand that it's what he does for a living. Carl Kobe does a lot of houses, checks them out, looks at him, even looks at vehicles, but mostly he does a lot of these things, looks at other people's houses, and you really are into seeing what people like this do for a living, take a look at his channel. That's up to you if you want to subscribe to him. You don't have to. Carla having fun. Yeah, see, she does a lot of interesting stuff too. I've been on her panels, I've been on live streams, and I've been really enjoying some of those things she likes to do. See, it's really fun just to watch and see what topic she brings up too. All right, let's go. Alexa. I'm trying to screen up her name, but another person that's also been on other people's channels. She also talks the same stuff as these other people too. Yeah. If you like hers content, subscribe to her and see how she does right now. Carlson Claus, another arcade person, he also does a little scratching, and he does a lot of other stuff. So it would be interesting to watch his channel, see what he's been up to and doing in this thing. Family, current. I am going to screw up on these guys' name, but they're a family. They're doing a lot of these reaction videos and stuff like this, and you're like, you have to agree with them? No, you don't. Just take a look at a lot of their videos and see how you feel about them. I wish I could say, it's kind of hard for me to say because some of these names I do screw up on. And I'm going to apologize to the guys I don't. I'm just doing this video to explain to people what I subscribe to, okay? Cash Cody, another scratchy channel. Not only does scratching, but he also does a few Pokemon cards and stuff like that. And pretty interesting. Laughing and Texas Candy and a few other people I've met through the years too. Cash Jonah. He does explore New York. He was in Japan with his wife. They were exploring in Japan. They were also exploring houses there too. Compared to the New York and Japanese houses, I think he kind of gets the idea. Yeah, I think he has been upset on how his New York has changed through the years. If you like some of these channels, I'm saying subscribe to these channels. Look and see what they have. I'm gonna keep on going as best I can because I'm gonna end the program in a bit. But I'm hoping I can get through all these channels. All right. I'm not gonna really, but I am saying that these guys, these two people are doing reactions on music videos and stuff like that. And, you know, yeah, really interesting. I'm not going to attempt it. I'm not going to attempt saying, if you want to subscribe to this channel, please do. I will put the link down after a while as I finish this video. But take a look at these channels. See how you feel about it. Other than Chadio, we've done a lot of these reactions too. I've seen them on other channels too. It's been on a lot of few other channels as well. Yeah, he does have an American flag and a British flag. The Union Jack. That's the British flag. I think it's interesting that if you want to subscribe to his channel, he does also some brewery, but he also does a lot of these British television reactions, which is pretty funny. And you got to look at his channel. All right. Challenging kitchen. You're liking to cooking and stuff, and you really want to learn to know how to cook and really good food, subscribe to this person's channel. Enjoy it. Learn from it. You know, take your time. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm trying to figure out what to make me sometimes. And it's pretty interesting to watch people make really good food right now. And right now I am gonna end it right now because I gotta do some stuff too. All right. So you all have fun. This has been Raven the Blackbird. I will come back and do more about my subscriptions to other channels and really interesting stuff. It is really interesting that I have finished a good portion of my live stream for an hour. I am going to try and see if I can get my channel subscription up. But I'm going to do more of these types of channels. Leave a comment below. Like and subscribe to my channel. This has been Raven the Blackbird. I'm signing off. Good luck and peace.